What were we going about?
Nazis built the pyramids, the aliens started the Holocaust. It's just...
We're talking about serial killers today. They're ghosts.
It's only going to get worse from here.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Crying Couple. I'm your host, Sage, and I'm in my nest all by myself today. No Gage with me, but that's okay, because we're going to talk about something today that I would lose him on real easy. You know, not that he doesn't give me the benefit of the doubt, not that he doesn't support me and believe me and have his own beautiful, wonderful theories. But today I thought I would just sit in the nest by myself and call a little bit with you about some theories and some questions people have asked me before. Some things that I'm into personally that Gage, so supportive, has just started getting into. So I'm sure he'll listen to this later on and he'll be like, yeah, man, I wish I'd been there. And he edits for me, so he'll probably edit this later and maybe even add some stuff in for himself on his own little theories and thoughts on it. Today's episode shall be, what is witchcraft? Well, if you Googled it, it would say like some things like the practice of magic, specifically for evil purposes. Witchcraft traditionally means the use of magic or supernatural powers to the harm of others. You know, things like that. I just read that off of Google for you. There are many different types of witchcraft for sure. I can't even begin to explain to you. Well, I'm going to try. But I can't genuinely sit down. It'd be a long-ass podcast, I'll tell you that much. And you just couldn't, you really couldn't fit it all into one episode. Because there are literally other podcasts that break this down for you. And it takes one episode to break down one thing. So I'm going to generalize things for you. What is witchcraft? I am very squirrely brained. If you can't tell by our cover art, I'm the one that's shiny, so this is a little more difficult to do than I thought without my beautiful Gagey poo with me. And so I went ahead and I literally fucking wrote a thesis for this episode because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to do something by myself and see how well I can do. Turns out I'm still squirreling, so if you hear me pause, it's because I'm trying to be genuine. But if you hear me get a little monotoned, but I'm still going, it's because I'm reading my thesis in front of me right now. I would post my thesis on our social media, but I didn't save any of the freaking references. So I feel like it would be like a void thesis because I didn't save the references for the bottom footnote. So it's just going to be a word thesis for you. But I did write one. It's right in front of me. I might post a picture of me writing it on some social media later on. It's the practice of magic, is specifically for evil purposes. I was like, what? And then another one says, witchcraft traditionally means the use of magic or supernatural powers to harm others. I'm like, since when? Because I've always been under the impression, although I'm into witchcraft, so I guess I would be definitely biased about that, how it's always been misunderstood, and it's pretty much science before there was a word for it. Nowadays it might be different, but traditional witchcraft was herbology, medicine, well, I mean, it was. If you look it up, a lot of times it was. Sure, they went about it differently than they do now, obviously, because we modernized, but it was just medicine. Doctors, in my opinion, medicine women and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, another definition for you was a sorcerer, magician, or witch attempts to influence the surrounding worlds through the occult. There are many types of witchcraft, some with or without a fundamental religion. One of the most known being paganism. But paganism isn't just like one religion. It's like, I'm going to say paganism because I didn't want to tell you each of the religions. Because Vikings are super popular now. So I'll be honest. When you think paganism, you think Vikings. And that's actually has its own name. It's Asatru. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Asatru. Asatru. I don't know. It's really pretty weird to look at, I guess. But anyways, there's druids. There's like just genuine nature based, people who like, tree huggers, you could call them, who like focus on the energy of the trees and all that kind of sacred feminism, where you focus on like divine femininity, goddesses, all that kind of stuff. People who work with the moon a lot could be called sacred feminism. And then just genuine polytheism. That is what people mean when they say paganism. Is they mean polytheism, the worship or practice of multiple god and goddesses, deities. There's the Celtic, the Gaelic, the Roman, the Greek, Egyptian, German, and Hindu. There are so many different polytheistic cultures, and they're all over the world. So, if that's what witchcraft is, a basic rundown of different religions and what Google thinks it is, what modern world thinks it is. So what is magic? Magic is an ancient practice rooted in rituals, spiritual divination, and or cultural lineage, with an intention to invoke, manipulate, or otherwise manifest beings or entities in the natural world. That's the definition of magic, the Google definition. Well, actually I got it from a website, but like I told you, I didn't save the source material. Okay, so I wrote, moreover, different cultures don't share a coherent pattern of witchcraft beliefs. And like I said earlier, Celtic, Gaelic, Roman, Greek, all of those people, like even Native Americans and African, all that kind of stuff, the word witch does not mean the same thing because it doesn't translate, in other words. Moreover, different cultures don't share a coherent pattern of witchcraft beliefs, which often blend other concepts such as magic, sorcery, religion, folklore, theology, and technology. Some simply regard a witch as a person with inherent supernatural abilities. But here in like America, witchcraft has been commonly more believed to be ordinary people with the free choice to learn and practice magic with the help of the supernatural, like calling upon a goddess or a god or nature or, just things that are beyond us. That's what magic is for most people. So to answer the question, are there such things as witches? That would totally depend on what you think. And it also depends on what each individual believes a witch is. Because while I believe in witches, while I do practice witchcraft, what I believe, and I believe I am a witch, I don't believe in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. I don't think that kind of witchcraft is real. Not how they do it anyways. And speaking of the wizarding world of Harry Potter, that's art, literature, even theater, and those things, it's art, it's interpretation, it's an opinion, it's even just something things have made up, and that affects how people think of witchcraft, obviously. Finally, I don't know, I beat around the bush a little too much here, so let me get to the question. And the question is, what is magic to me? Magic is simply energy. Energy. That's what it is to me. And what I mean by that, and I will explain the best of my ability, you just try to keep up with me here. Magic is simply energy. And what is witchcraft, or just my craft, is my personal ability to use and manipulate energy to do my work. Emphasis on the word work. Okay, that is my definition. That's not something I looked up. This is strictly my definition. And here's a definition pulled off the internet for you. Scientists define energy as the ability to do work. Hence, why I said emphasize on the ability to manipulate that energy and to do my work. Modern civilization is possible because people have learned how to change energy from one form to another and then use it to do work. This is why a lot of witches these days call magic or spells or casting or anything like that, they call it spell work, because you're putting in work, you're putting in energy. So, goes with that explanation. So I'm going to do a few more definitions, and it's my thesis. So here's another definition for you about physics. So we were talking about scientists, how they define energy as the ability to do work. In physics, energy is the quantitative property that is transferred to a body or a physical system. The law of conservation, this is the important part right here. This is why I believe energy is magic. The law of conservation of energy states that energy can be converted in form, but not created or destroyed, meaning it can only be changed from one form to another. Like, that definition alone is why I believe magic is energy, because that's exactly what anyone trying to use magic is doing. They're changing one form to another, a will into existence, one form to another. As with any other forms of energy, magic can be described as being an electromagnetic wave, which means that each quantum, which is a quantity of energy, has a specific frequency. The energy of this quantum is directly proportional to the frequency of a wave. What I'm getting at with frequency is everything vibrationy. Yeah, I want to use that word, vibrationy. What I'm getting at with frequency is everything vibrates, everything has energy. Example, music. You know, your favorite song or anything kind of stuff, like when you're meditating, you put on a meditative song and all that kind of stuff. You know, to tune something, you know, like you hit that little tuner thing and it vibrates and you can just feel it across the room and all kind of stuff. Like everything has that feeling. Everything has that. You hit a piece of metal. It has a vibration. You can feel that vibration. Everything has a frequency. Everything vibrates. Everything has energy. From a purely scientific point of view, the most probable answer to the what is magic question is simply that magic is a form of energy. Even individuals with a limited scientific background, like me, are familiar with a few forms of energy. Kinetic energy, which is movement. Thermal, which is like heat and cold and all that. Electric, we're all familiar with electric energy. There's magnetic energy, nuclear energy, and potential energy. Energy can be found all around us, and it is used to accomplish many things. Everything. Boiling water. You need energy for that. To lighting up the cities, we know that one. Nuclear explosions. Everything relies on energy. Some forms of energy are super easy and you can see them all the time and they're really easy to measure, while other forms are more discrete and require specialized methods and equipment to detect, like nuclear energy. Magic would probably fall under the more discrete energy that requires specialized methods, which is like, you know, people who are sensitive to it, with only a very small percentage of individuals being able to detect and utilize, like, you know, like witches or other spiritual practitioners or people who are just sensitive to it, like empaths, you know, healers, Reiki people who have studied it for a long time and they can manipulate the energy around other people, you know, mediums and stuff like that. They can sense it on their own, as an ability. There's also EMF readers and all that kind of stuff, like those things that are meant to find energy that can also be sensitive to what magic is. We as human beings are energetic. We are energetic beings in the physical realm, but some limitations. Different people have different levels of sensitivities and talents to read energy and connect on these levels. And here's a little thing that I pulled off the internet for you real quick about Stephen Hawking. He has conceded that there are other dimensions around us that we do not perceive. Science is literally catching up with magic if you think about it. You know, like they're slowly realizing what most of us witches have realized for thousands of years. Okay, so with that being said, what I mean by magic is energy, and the reasons we use things around us is because, like I said earlier, everything vibrates, everything has energy, and everything has a certain type, and it's not just random. It has a certain type of vibration. It has a certain type of energy. Around our bodies, around everything, has its own energetic field. And everything, like a rock, you know, like crystals, herbs, oils, and then when it interacts with us, when we interact with it, when it interacts with things around it, they vibrate together. If you want to name it music, if you want to name it a song, you can. It vibrates, it mixes together, and that's how you do spell work. Like you want a certain thing to come to fruition, you would use the things of that, like you would figure out what type of energy that thing would require. You would use things that coincide with that type of energy. Beyond that, even our thoughts have energy. Like, to give you an example of that, when someone looks at you angry, or like you can feel them looking at you, Even though you don't see them looking at you, you can feel it. You can feel the angry gaze. You know what I'm talking about. Or here's another example is when two people have been fighting in another room and they stop and they go away, but you walk into that room, you can feel the tension in that room. You know, you can feel it. It's heavy, like an energy. It's tangible. That's energy. That's magic. That's the intention of spell work. It's thought energy that has power, and that is magic. And that is like the best way I can describe it is it's just energy, which is scientific, which is just a type of energy we just haven't named yet. And honestly, if you wanted to give it a name, I'd honestly go with kinetic, probably, because, you know, when energies are locking together and all that kind of stuff, I feel like it's moving. That's a moving energy that you want to flow from you to another object, to a goal. And I just feel like that's kinetic to me. But, you know, like, other people would maybe describe it differently. And I almost feel like magic is a bit of every type of energy. Like I said, there's kinetic, thermal, electric, magnetic, nuclear, and then potential energy. So to finish it off for you, I believe in witchcraft. I don't believe it's evil. I just believe it's a type of science that is working specifically with energy. I practice witchcraft, but that's just the name that modern society has given to people who work with energy in a way that isn't defined yet. Yet, I say. It will be. I am very sure eventually scientists will discover this type of energy, and they're going to be able to name it and classify it and use it. We're going to be able to use it because people already are using it. Like, people are already using spell work and all that kind of stuff. It's just those are the things we've named it. Like, I don't know how much easier it is to explain than that, honestly. Of course, there's many different ways to use it. There's been many different practices, witch practices, religious practices that have harnessed this ability that no one's really ever named besides witchcraft. So we're going to keep calling it that. Like, there's many different types of witches, you know, solitary, hereditary, crystal witches, cosmic witches, green witches, hedge witches, plant, gray witches, eclectic witches, folk, Appalachian witches, baby witches, which is people who have just started out, kitchen witch, hearth, house, ceremonial, sea, and yes, even sex witches. To get more detailed, not specifically on sex witches, I know I stopped there. That's not what I mean. But it's just like, I know there's going to be questions. So what I mean is that with each of those types of witches I just named, besides baby witch, because that's just somebody who's just started out how to do it, and they haven't really found their genre, their niche of where they are. By all those things I've named, those are types of witches that have found a certain way to use their energy. Like, energy is the whole of witchcraft. So there's many different types of witchcraft though, but they're all witchcraft. Being on witchcraft and describing it with science, you are scientists, so you got a doctorate. So you are a doctor. Does that mean you're a surgeon as well? No, probably not. But a surgeon also has a doctorate, is also a doctor. You are both doctors. It doesn't mean you can do the same thing that each other can do. And I feel the same way about witchcraft. We're all considered witches in witchcraft. If you consider yourself a witch in witchcraft, you're going to be good at something in witchcraft that you can do. I want to thank you for giving me a shot and listening to this clusterfuck of information.
Hey, everybody. So after 3 hours of editing
later.
This video, it started out as 40 minutes. We got it down to close to 22. So thank God.
I had to ask. Even though this is like one of the shortest videos or audios ever.
Yeah.
That we've done. Mm-hmm. Did it take the longest?
It definitely took some time. Like,
I'm the most stumbling person over my words.
Yeah, usually when we do the hour and a half videos, it's not near as bad to edit compared to this one, but it has definitely been fun. It's been a very informational video, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Mine will all be
silly and informational.
But hopefully you guys did enjoy this, and we do hope that if you did like it, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe. I mean, shit, we got some more videos coming up later on. And if you would like to...
Sage's side quests.
Yeah, that's what these will be.
Yeah.
But if you definitely would like to send us an email, you're more than welcome to send us an email at the callingcouplepod@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear your feedback about witchcraft and witchery and alchemy and science. Like, why not?
An alchemist, Eddie.
The Full Metal Alchemist. But yeah, no, it has definitely been a lot of fun, and can't wait to have some more of these. It's been...
Yeah, I'm excited about the next one.
Yeah, because you're editing the next one.
No.
I showed her how to edit, so now she's going to be editing her videos on these so she can get them the way that she wants them. Because she has had to suffer with me for the last 3 hours.
Yes, we've been sitting here for 3 freaking hours to edit. What was it, like 22 fucking minutes? And that's
it. So, thank you guys so much for joining in, and we will see you next time. But Sage, you got any last words you'd like to put out there?
Caw.
Oh, good call. All right. Well, I'm just gonna sit here and that's my Harley.
Okay.
Yeah, my self-made Harley.
Wasn't enough rhythm.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I gotta. Yeah, I've got to tune it. So. But all right. Well, hopefully you guys had fun.